Good morning, everyone. It is really early on Sunday morning. I was supposed to work today, and then I was texted that we were at low census, so I didn't need to come in. Unfortunately, by the time she messaged me that, I had already had a half a cup of coffee, so I knew that I was not going back to sleep. So that's fine. I have a Sunday off and I'm going to start my Sunday early. So I have a few reviews for you here today. I finished a few things in the past few days that I thought I would talk about. I think I've got 5 things here. Okay, so we'll start with the Yankee wax melt. So this is one of the old style Yankee like single wax melts. I don't think that they even have these anymore. But I had one in my collection and thought I would melt it just because I kind of saw it as I was looking for something specific, and I'm like, oh, let me throw this one in the warmer. So the notes on here are enjoy the vibrant sense of an arts festival in the park with notes of green apple, fragrant florals, and a base of smooth woods. The fragrance notes top green apple, violet water lily, mid jasmine, rose, ylang ylang, and base of sandalwood, cedarwood, and sheer musk. This is a pretty bright fragrance. It was like a bright apple and floral, maybe a little bit of a woody note. Unfortunately though, this was pretty light. I popped this in my warmer in the living room, and maybe that was not the best space for it with only having one wax melt, but normally these do pretty well for me. Yankee wax melts or melt cups do pretty well, so I thought, let me try it in there. And it was light. I could smell it when I walked close to the warmer, but that was about it. But it was a pleasant, definitely like a spring or summertime fragrance, but I had just been melting a lot of bakery and I needed something to I just wanted something to like cleanse the air a little bit, when it gets kind of heavy and sticky from the bakery and you just want to change it up with something light. And this, when I smelled it, it did the trick. So it was nice. I think if you don't like florals, this probably wouldn't be for you. But it definitely not a powdery floral, definitely more of like a fresh floral. So that is Art in the Park. And then Scentsy, I have here Brown Butter Pumpkin, and I have the notes pulled up for this as well. So this is whip up a batch of seasonal spice, whip up a batch of seasonal spice, mixing melted for a tempting treat. And then the details here is that might be all they give us. Yeah, that's all I can find. That's strange. Normally I can find some notes. Oh, okay, so that's really strange. The description on the website is all jumbled for me. Okay, so it says whip up a batch of seasonal spice, mixing melted butter and brown sugar with pumpkin for a tempting treat. Okay. Yes, and this is a heavy butter and brown sugar. And then I get a bit of some pumpkin spice in here as well. I really don't know that I get any like pumpkin, like pumpkin puree or pumpkin flesh. And I really don't know that I got anything like that on warm either. This was a very buttery brown sugar. This was like, this was kind of like streusel, like the streusel that, might go on top of muffins or desserts. It smelled really good and it was really strong, and it lasted a pretty decent amount of time. I think I got about 13 or 14 hours out of this, of fairly strong fragrance. And I know some people expect like a lot longer than that. I do not. If I get 8 hours, I'm happy. If something goes to 12 hours or beyond, I think that's fantastic. And so this was strong, it was a good performer, and it was a really lovely, lovely brown sugar butter bakery fragrance. Okay, I would repurchase this. I think that this will probably be my only bar of this year. I have a few cubes left, but oh, and here's from the D-Stash. She had stuck a little sticker on the back of this. I think that I would get it again next year, but I think I've had my fill of it this year because it is such a heavy, sticky fragrance. That was why I needed to melt Art in the Park, because I just needed, after I was done with it, and I enjoyed it. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it and I loved it while it was melting, but then I did want to kind of clean the air with something a little bit lighter. Okay. Then we have Hocus Pocus Buns by Vintage Chic Scents. This is sweet bakery dough wrapped around butter, cinnamon, sugar, and a big marshmallow. This was just a really nice brown sugar bakery. Yep, dough, cinnamon, brown sugar. This was very much a cinnamon roll scent. It was a little light, surprisingly, because it smells very strong on cold, but this was actually light in the warmers. I would say that this is probably, I would have given this maybe like probably like an 8, and this was more like a 5, so I wish it would have performed better. Did I say that this was like a brown sugar? Okay, no. The brown butter pumpkin is definitely brown sugar. This is more like very sweet vanilla cinnamon dough. Okay, so that's Hocus Pocus Buns. Next up we have Appalachia. This is juicy sweet McIntosh apple and farm stand apple. Now I tried to look this up on the website and see if I could find if there were any more like notes to this maybe in her description on the website. So this is interesting. On cold, I think I mentioned that it smelled body care leaning to me. And that was definitely true as well when I warmed it. So, yeah. And so I don't know, I'm not sure why it comes off that way to me. I know I like it. It's just not what I was expecting based on the notes. You know, I think I was expecting more of like a very fresh, genuine, true to life apple. And I don't want to say it's not a true to life apple. It's just very body care leaning. But there's no soapiness to this. It doesn't seem like there's like a ton of added sweetness. It's just, and I think maybe what this lacks is like, sometimes when something is described as like a farm apple or an orchard apple, I think that I've come to expect some sort of green or wood note to be an aspect of the fragrance, and that in combination with the apple gives it that very fresh, true to life apple smell for me. And there's nothing else besides apple in here. There is no green note, there's no apple blossom, there's no wood, there's no fresh air, none of that. This is just apple. But it was really nice. It was kind of like apple shampoo, and I really liked it. It performed okay. It was probably, I had 2 cubes of this going in my bathroom, and it was it was noticeable when you were in there. It wasn't like an in your face. It seemed like it might be like an in your face kind of fragrance, which I like. That sounds like a bad thing. I love it when a fragrance is in your face because it's that strong. This was just a very pleasant there, kind of in the background, in the bathroom, probably like a 6 out of 10. I don't think that I would put this in a larger space, or if I did, I think I would have to probably use the whole thing if I put this in a larger space, or at least 4 cubes. The 2 was fine for the bathroom, but it probably would have gotten lost in like a living room or a kitchen. So that is Appalachia. And then last we have Coastal Vanilla. This was one of the wax melts that I picked up from Hobby Lobby when I was there to get that warmer that I'd heard really good things about. So Coastal Vanilla is Vanilla Orchid, Coastal Breeze, and White Musk. So now, I don't really know what Vanilla Orchid smells like if that's actually a type of orchid, but I can tell you that in here there is a vanilla, okay? It's vanilla, like vanilla bean. So it really, I don't know what if Vanilla Orchid is something specific, but it smells like vanilla bean in combination with florals, with a little bit of a briny note, like Coastal Breeze and like salty sea air is, I feel like, what that's talking about. And then, and the musk in here is not, it's maybe just a little bit. Musk can scare me sometimes when you have a fragrance with like really decent notes. Sometimes it can screw those notes up if it's not blended well. And the musk isn't problematic in here at all. It's very light. I wanted to look up the notes for Vanilla Waves by Scentsy because I wanted to see how similar these two are. No, so that must not be what I'm thinking of. I feel like there's a Scentsy fragrance that this reminds me of, but it must be a floral because it's Vanilla Waves is sea salt and whipped vanilla crash into sticky caramel. Okay, no, maybe it is. So there's definitely salt, there's saltiness, salty sea air. There's definitely a vanilla bean, but there's no caramel note in here. And instead there is a definite floral. It was beautiful. So I melted 4 cubes. I put 2 in my bathroom and 2 in my bedroom, and it was actually a really decent performer in both of those rooms. It was very obvious to me upon walking in the room. And it was really nice. It wasn't like a super heavy floral either. It wasn't, it was a really beautiful light, and not like, when I say that, I don't mean light throw. I mean just light, easy to tolerate, I think, no matter what your preferences are type of fragrance. So that was Coastal Vanilla. I would repurchase this, actually. And it was like on sale. It was 40% off, so you can see it's $2.99, but it was 40% off, so I think it was like $1.79 or something like that, which is like, for 2.5 ounces of wax, I think that's a pretty good deal. So anyway, that is it. Those are the fragrances I've melted over the past few days. So thank you for watching, and I will be back with another video soon.